So I do podcasts, and Manish and I recently did a podcast. So this podcast was all about how can you really make use of these tools and build something in 1 hour. And we actually built something like BookMyShow in the entire podcast live. And people loved it. They loved it so much, in 10 days they gave us 1 lakh plus views and 500 plus comments and 250 plus ideas and requests of what should we build in the next episode. That's what I showed to Sridhar. And Sridhar said, hey, you know what? I think this is most really now. Our people say they use AI, but they have nowhere close to what you're doing. So let us give that real reality check to these people so that we can really start doing something good now. So that was the initial request. We took that request, went to Manish, said, Manish, can we do something more exciting? So we added this curated a few more interesting use cases, few more interesting projects and really do. Over the last 1 week, we're not talking about over 1 month or 2 months ago. Whatever we did last 1 week is going to be the primary discussion today. So to give you some intro, Manish is my good old friend. Say hi, Manish. He runs a startup himself.
Hello. That's like the startup guy.
No more he calls it a startup. But yeah. So he runs a company himself. And he is the primary driver of AI in this company. So he does most of the work now. But now he also created processes and structures and workflows in his org, which his team is adopting to do real work. Actually, his motto is don't write code anymore. Let AI do it and you make it do it. And how his org is doing it with his own insights is what we're going to listen to now. I'll be a distributor of the game, so I'm always pitching in to add some noise now. Hopefully useful noise. Clear? Are you on the page? Awesome. Let's start, Manish.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Hi. Yeah, you guys can hear me? Yeah. So, hello, everyone. This is Manish, the founder and CEO of a company called WeThinkApp. It has now fully transformed into an AI company. So now we're calling it WeThink AI. So luckily we have the A in the word, so that how it helped us. So before starting my presentation, I think what really caught Jignesh's attention is also the platform that we have built for a company called Southwest Airlines, which you must have already seen, in the podcast. But it didn't stop there. We got an immediate call from Lucid Motors. So this is also a project that you have done in 24 hours. So before showing the project, just want to know how many project managers, product managers, front end, back end, if you can just raise hand, IT, non-IT, how many developers or people responsible to deliver project, if you can just raise hands.
Half developers. Yes, that's
so all you guys are actively on the project. Yeah. So I think something like this, you guys will resonate immediately. Okay. So since it's in the US timing, we got a call at 9 o'clock. Very similar brief saying that Manish, the Lucid management has now changed. There's a lot more opportunity that they're looking to work with smaller startups. And he said there is an opportunity to build a sales platform, okay, specifically for the customers and a couple of them. And he only gave me a very good brief. Okay. Now, generally, what happens when somebody calls you and gives you a brief? You guys don't even do the transcription part. So how many people actually use transcript while they're taking notes or meetings? You? Very good. So all I did was I said, okay, you just talk whatever you want. Just tell me your requirement. My phone is anyways transcripting with me. Once the call is done, I just took the transcript. I went into ChatGPT and I copy pasted and I said, build me a project requirement. That's it. I put my phone down, I went to ChatGPT, I did this, and this is the high level requirement that it has come up with, saying that, hey, you know what, this is the scope, it needs a business portal, it needs an authentication, onboarding process, module by module specifications, body parts, training and technical documents, import a sales. So it basically gave a bunch of modules, everything by requirement, which is told in the call. Okay. If you see here, I didn't even put 1 minute of my brain yet to even do anything. Okay. I took the transcript, put it into ChatGPT, generated a PRD. Now, once that is completed, then we started building the platform. Okay. Now, this is the output we have shown next day evening, 9 o'clock. So previous day, 9 o'clock, the call is completed. 30 minutes, the PRD is done. I even send them the PRD saying that, hey, would you like to make any changes? That guy is like, this is way too much. Like, how can you even give demo within 1 day? I said, just leave it to us. You leave it to us. We will go and we'll come back. But you make sure you're giving me a schedule next day, 9 o'clock. So he came to the call next day, 9 o'clock, and this is the exact same demo that we have presented. So this is the entire landing page. So by the way, we didn't want to show it as Lucid Motors. We want to show it as BYD because that's how they wanted to, like, they want to white label the solution. They didn't want to do something custom because it will be too straightforward for them. So we said we will do it for BYD and we'll present the exact same use case. So this is the landing page with all the modules, supply chain, ROI and all of that. So let me jump into the module. So this is, yeah.
We have non-IT.
Okay. Non-IT, if you can raise hands.
The suggestion is, for example, customer has given you the requirements.
Yeah.
Right. Create a spec within minutes. In olden days, how much time it used to take?
Yeah.
Same thing, whatever you have developed, in a traditional way, how many hours or how many days it used to take? That way people know what the transformation is happening.
Got it. So for non-technical people, something like this, we call it as a discovery call. Okay. If anybody work for enterprise, CMMI level 5, you must have understood that. So in discovery call, people only come and say, I want this and all. Generally, to actually refine these requirements, you need a subject matter expert. You need a business analyst who will come and document each one of them. Okay. Understanding their domain, understanding the requirements, writing them in a functional manner that we as technical people understand. So this is typically, if we leave it slow pace, it is a 3-month process. If it is an immediate requirement, they speed it up to 4 weeks. So 4 weeks is a minimum time that is given to come up with a document that can take it to live. Like, okay, let's get started. That acknowledgement only comes after 4 weeks because lots of within the team, there is a review, multiple hierarchical reviews, all that happens. And then they say, okay, let's go ahead. Okay. Now this 4 weeks is now converted into 4 minutes. So this is the platform that we built. I think the amount taken to build the platform is maybe less than 2 or 3 hours. But as you can see all the dashboards, performance, battery, top EV components, infrastructure, sustainable reports. What is the EV fleet that BYD is handling? Who are the list of customers? You can see all the list of customers in the platform. So you can see the details of the customers, history, order view, contacts that the customer carries, activity. So this is like a typical, if you take any Salesforce or SAP, this is the standard structure even they follow when it comes to building these CRM kind of sales applications. And if you see the order management systems, you can see all the orders that the platform has placed. You can see where the orders are coming also from. They're all coming from SAP platform, Salesforce, both are async, like you can go there and also come here. And you can see the actions. So this particular order has been cancelled, shipping address, what is the order that has been placed. So each and every detail to even start the discussion has already been very well maturely captured. Okay. Now, similarly, we have bulk orders. So you can load the sample data. You can see number of bulk orders that have been done. Invoicing module, you can look up the inventory. So these are all the inventory modules. So you can see where is the stock location. Okay. And also you can see the detailed tracking. So where are these orders coming from? What is this happening? Like your typical delivery that you do from Flipkart, all that is also done. And where are the importers coming from? So you can see where all these components are basically coming with the importer. You can see the importer overview, history, compliance, and contacts. And and then we have user management, user roles, permissions. So typical CRUD operations, any enterprise application should have, all that is there. And then we also have a lot of integration. So since Lucid Motors already has a lot in their IT landscape, everything has to be connected and then the data has to be brought in. So all the integrations also directly happen from the platform itself, starting from payment, shipping, CRM and all. And then you also have application theme. So you can also customize the theme. You can change the typography, layout, behaviors, everything. So this particular thing has been done in 6 hours. And how many of you don't want to believe this? You can raise the hand. You don't want to believe? Please ask a question.
Do you have any knowledge related to this domain? because basically the subject matter expert or the domain knowledge can think all these things.
Okay. Okay. So if I give you the exact same task, what would you do? I'll not give you subject matter expert. I'll only give you brief. What would you do right now? I will give you 1 hour to build the subject matter expertise. What will you do? Then you have your own answer. So see, today's subject matter expert is all about interest. Okay. So we are actually, I am actually studying my own personal subject is called longevity. It's called P5 medicine. It's my own thing. I have zero knowledge about it. But because of the tools like deep research, everything that is available, today I'm able to generate 400 pages of deep research. Now, what is that you're doing? The information is already there with you. You're just spending time. I gave 1 hour to read the document, and now I can actually talk about the subject. So that learning process is faster. It's just that you have to put the time, you have to trust the tool. First of all, you have to be very submissive to AI. So that is the most important thing. So once you're submissive, if you decide saying that, okay, AI is there, AI will take care, you can just go with the flow. Okay. So coming back to why I am against writing syntax or anything that is manual in nature is because of the possibilities. When we started working on Lovable or any of these platforms, we never really pitched anything to enterprise, because enterprise is the highest level that you can show any of these applications, because they don't entertain anything that is like, one page, like a form or, anything. They need that maturity. They need that technical validation. They look at code, they look at everything. Only then they'll say, wow, okay, this is actually true. Like, this can actually be done. So that's when I've decided that, okay, now I have to make sure that, so we have a very strict rule on ground, on our floor. Nobody writes code. If you're writing code, either you're lazy to prompt, okay, or somewhere the prompting has been hallucinating in a way that it's not getting an output. So now go and write it. So that's how we, we've decided that. So to start with, so stop writing code and start prompting AI. So you can see the image here. I feel if anybody is coding, this is how I feel they're doing. So it's like we're back in 20, yeah. So we call it as a hybrid integration. Your GitHub is your central repository. Your repository is connected with Cursor, Windsurf, Lovable, VO, Codant, even GitHub Copilot, so everything. So whatever you want to write, for example, one person, it's like a team, right? How you're orchestrating. So one person writes only APIs. One person brings only the database. One person takes care of this. Now, if you're a full stack developer, you'll do everything. So it's all about which tool you're using for what. Okay. For anything that is GPU heavy, you're using Windsurf. Okay. You're basically using an open source. You started pre-training. You have a large 600 GB dataset. You download it from Kaggle. Now that is when you use Windsurf, or else you just go with Cursor. Tool orchestration is what we call it. End-to-end, yes. So by the way,
maybe not everything that you're seeing, but towards the end, we'll show you things where it will function end-to-end. End-to-end. Yeah. So we'll show you those demos as well.
So very recently, Sergey was asked, when is the next Gemini version being written by Gemini? He said 1 year. Okay. So OpenAI, people stopped writing code. Everybody uses Codex CLI. Codex CLI will now get an interface. Now that becomes a lot more easier for all your debugging and everything. So that's what I'm selling, right? Be submissive with AI that everything is going to change. Everything that you think that is not possible is already possible. It's just that you don't know how to do it. So figure out a way, do the research. If you're able to figure out, you'll actually share the same information to 10 other people, which is a lot more value add than what you're doing right now. So a quick history lesson for all the interns, this guy that is sleeping. So how many of you know Pakka, like definitely boring.
Okay, so what?
Oh, jet lag. So how many of you know assembly language? How many of you know COBOL, Java, C++? I think all the new generation should, I'm sure they'll not know. How many of you know all the web frameworks that have been created between 2000 to 2015? All the web frameworks, okay? How many of you have been actively working from 2015 to 2024, which is a peak period for cross-functional framework, let it be Flutter, React, Angular, anything that has a single code base? Like how many have been working? Great. Every year or every 5 years, the complexity has been reducing from a machine code to web frameworks to single code base to now to English. So the goal is to only reduce the complexity so that more and more people can come and become developers, not developers. We are calling it as rockstars. Why should you get handicapped because you don't have a developer in front of you, but you have so many ideas. You have so many ideas you want to build, but you need a developer, you're handicapped. So that problem is completely taken away the minute you start using AI. So the other thing that I tell them is, why are you still coding? So when I asked my developer, why are you still coding? So he said, I never started prompting for this particular feature. So that is the reason I'm still coding. But the people who actually started prompting from the first line of code from the feature, they are actually, they're using the thread to basically, give that enhancement to the feature. So always, if the current flow is so simple that you talk, oh, by the way, I don't type also. I actually use this tool called Whisper Flow. So now I stop typing also. It's basically you're just talking to, any LLM and it will give you the output. So, okay, now having said we have the context of, history and all of this, what is it that you need to learn immediately? Okay. First, the biggest thing is learn, unlearn, and relearn. For if I have to ask the developer, hey, can we do a user management system right now? The first thing that he will think is, can I use Okta or can I use any authentication method? That is the biggest mistake you're doing right now. Stop thinking like that. Stop thinking at a functional level, where you're saying that, okay, I will implement this, I'll implement. No, think at a delivery point of view. Okay, you give me this module. Okay, I will not write code, but I'll come back within 1 hour and I'll give you and I'll deliver the module.
Actually, I'll add something. The early generation of applications, the 2007, 2008, when Android and App Stores came in, the native Android application systems were available. But the first generation apps were all like a replication of websites. They just put they know how to build a website until then. They just took the same format, insert it into a box on a phone, and try to make the same. It took a learning curve of almost 2 to 3 years to figure out a new UX on how we can leverage that touch and feel and everything else on a mobile phone. So UX changing will take time. Right now, if someone thinks like a developer, this is old UX. Using AI into your workflow from the beginning itself is a new UX which we have to adapt, and you still don't know what's the right way to do that. But believe me, these changes have happened many times in the past, and it's going to happen now.
So right now, so we work with all large IT companies, Genpact, Tech, and Accenture, and all. So the common requirement that we are looking at from every large IT or from US point of view is they are asking, Manish, do you have somebody called a rockstar? Okay. For the very first time in last 10 years, one person is able to equip with the entire SDLC workflows. Like he can basically build, launch an application within 1 week, even give a couple of additions and revision also in 1 week. Never in the timeline of software development, this never happened. So this is the first time we have an opportunity to basically do this. And the minimum timeline to basically build any MVP is minimum 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. These are standard timelines, at least until last year. But now, if you start on Monday, I think by Friday, you'll have a up and running application. So in order to become a rockstar, somewhere you need to start, right? Like, how do I start? Okay. So all the juniors who are just getting started, I think this is for you. There's something called AI Generalist. So Generalist is more of a horizontal role. You're more of a problem solver. Now the problem can come in any format. It can come in text, code, image, video. Okay, tomorrow somebody might come and ask you, can you generate Telugu music? And there is still a tool which generates Telugu music right now. So you have to become an AI generalist where you take a path where you start learning from level 1, level 2, level 3. So level 1 is all about just get the foundations right, very basic things. Okay, start using all the tools. Don't use one tool. Use every tool. Like use Gemini. Use the same prompt in all the tools and see how the behavior is. Because everything is trained differently, so that it has a personality. The personality changes. Some things are too technical. If you go to Claude, it will give you all literature only because it's been trained on literature. So everything is different, but all the trial and errors come when you start implementing the same prompt in all the platforms. And once that is done, I think this is for the developers. Once you start using LLMs, I think your biggest capability should be understanding the potential of APIs. API of a specific LLM is the biggest knowledge that you need to gain, because if you're able to do function calling using OpenAI, there's so many lot of application layer use cases that you can come up with. If the developer himself doesn't have the knowledge of what the APIs are capable, how can he come and ideate saying that, hey, you know what, we can do this? Because nobody's studying that API layer. So developers, it's a must. All the RAGs, GPTs. Now we have something called Copilot Studio. So you can basically build agents through chat. So you can define what are the roles, tools, capabilities, and you can start doing it. So I think all developers should basically do that. Now, level 1 is completed, level 2 is completed. Now we're talking about level 3. Now, level 3 is my most important subject, which I am doing right now. You can basically have something called a small language model. Pick any domain, say something like healthcare. You can actually train these models using the available data. Even the smallest of smallest data can be trained. So everybody knows what is the eye hospital opposite? LB Prasad. Very interestingly, what they have done. So LB Eye Prasad Hospital has hundreds of images of the eye scans. So somebody came to them and say, hey, you know what? We will buy your data. It's like, what will you do with the data? He said, don't worry, we will buy your data. I'll pay you X amount, and they started giving all the data sets. This guy went, trained, and he built a mobile application. And then now today he just scans it and it diagnoses so well, better than the doctor. Now he sells it as a service to the same company. So like all these are very, small ideas which can be replicated. Doesn't have to be accurate, right? Everything can be a small baby, and it keeps maturing over time. So whoever is interested to go to that level, I think that is the first thing that you guys have to do. So now comes the big question. Why do you think there are so many layoffs happening throughout the world? Anybody who can answer? Like Microsoft has given up like 6,000 people, Meta has given 15,000 people. What is happening in their boardrooms? Like, why are they saying that, okay, no, let's, release them? For the very first time, all large high-tech companies have realized, not just high-tech companies, any company for that matter, realize that one person is able to deliver 10 people's productivity. If you see the diagram, it's like you are able to do a lot more work, which is not, you don't need a second person to even accompany you. Now, when they understood that, obviously, what is the second immediate decision? Efficiency. Efficiency means layoffs. So if you are not equipped with tools, if the value delivery is not coming out from a productivity point of view, if you're not equipped with tools, that means organization is not getting enough value. They have 100 reasons to actually let you go. Whoever is actually equipped with tools, they will never leave you because you're already giving 10x productivity with value delivery. Now, what is value delivery? Like, how can you deliver value to your own organization? These are all the tools that we have shortlisted. I think you guys can, of course, we'll send the deck after that. But if you are able to use this tool and deliver value to the organization, trust me, your job is future-proof. Okay, and do a lot more research. Every time you try to understand a tool, you're trying to reverse engineer. You're actually also supporting your peer, which becomes a lot more value to them because everybody doesn't have the same learning capabilities as you. Some people are very good at grasping, some people are not good at grasping. So please help your peers with all your learnings. Now, okay, now there's so many tools. Okay, now what are these tools actually having? Okay, now all these tools are basically equipped with models. Now every model is different. So if you see, I just took one example of OpenAI model. All the O series models are called reasoning models. So you need to understand what is a reasoning model. Why should I even use a reasoning model? So you have if you go to Perplexity, you actually have a tab to switch between models. When you know the use case, when you know the prompt, and if you want an output, please study on the models first. Because deep reasoning, thinking, latency, there are a lot more things that you need to study even before using the model. And then you have your non-reasoning models, which is your GPT-4. Of course, 4.5 is not covered, but very important subject to learn from this. So AI is the ultimate wrapper of all the stacks that we are seeing. Like if you talk about this, even this will have an AI. Everything you touch and feel, everything will have AI. Yeah, it is impossible to say that something will not have AI. So AI becomes the wrapper of everything that you're using, seeing, consuming. It becomes a drug. If you take Microsoft, what did Microsoft did? They put a Copilot logo on everything they're doing. Like literally, Copilot is there everywhere. Without Copilot, I don't think there's an application in the AI Foundry.
What do you call that?
So this is the mindset that I asked my team to. I told my team, hey, you know what? I somehow feel boring working with developers. Can we all think like researchers? I just want a feeling that I'm working with 50 researchers. Now, all of a sudden, there is a different culture, different mindset, different thought process. Everybody is researching on a tool and coming and saying, Manish, you know what? I've explored something like this. And we're trying to put in like the whole research mindset. Actually, OpenAI is a research organization. Then it became a profit, and now it is on a different. So if you're working like a researcher, delivering it like a developer, I think that is the new requirement of any person. So this is what we follow in our organization. So this is the Rockstar developer weekly schedule that we follow. If you see the amount of coding time they spend or coding or prompting, both are the same. On a Monday, they don't code. Monday is the most relaxing day because Sunday is already relaxed. Monday is relaxing in office. Okay. But here, a lot of time is spent on research, setup, planning, what we need to do on a Friday, all the prerequisites, setup, everything that is done on Monday. Tuesday is when we do heads down. Heads down is nobody talks to anyone. Okay. 90% it's basically coding. Sometimes they go till 12 hours also. Okay. Then Wednesday, it's again relaxed. It's only 50% coding. Okay. 40% will be R&D, meetings and all of that. Again, on a Thursday, they try to do maximum heavy lifting there and they complete it. Friday, we have this. So this thing of demo day is something that we got inspired from OpenAI. Actually, the way OpenAI releases their features, if you see there's a small table, the couple of developers who come, they basically tell what they do. We took the exact same culture and I go to the meeting, there are 3 developers, they start telling what they've done. And it can be half-baked, full-baked, whatever state or size, but we basically form that culture within the team. Now, what is this bringing? If you see number of coding hours versus number of research and planning hours and 10x productivity. So this is, if you're able to follow the schedule, having the demo mindset, okay, I need to build something, even if it is not functioning, I should give a demo. So demo mindset is what we brought into the team. And yeah, so prompt is a new reality. Don't think prompt is an easy skill. Prompt has a lot more deep subject. If somebody is prompting like a professional, please look at him like a PhD guy. Because there are so many techniques which we don't know. All these techniques are coming from the reinforcement learning of how the model has been trained. So if you have somebody who's an expert in prompting, please keep him next to you. So even in the podcast, I was showcasing this. There's something called meta prompting. In fact, actually, I don't prompt much. I actually ask the AI to prompt for me. So every time I want to refine the prompt, I ask, are you doing the best thing? Are you using the best practices? Okay, is there anything that you can do better? It will only give you a prompt. You don't even have to struggle for that. So meta prompting is a new way of prompting where you take AI's help to make AI understand the prompt to get the output. So you can follow my GitHub. So my GitHub has this crazy thing called prompts and models. So what it does is you can create a small project file in your GPT. In the instructions, if you drop these prompt instructions, anything that you create, it automatically follows. So all that thing, you can use it here. So after all this, how many of you want to be a rockstar? 5 people.
Only half integration. Operates.
Will you still write code or will you stop writing code?
But tell me this, how do I have a Netflix account? Okay, Amazon Prime. Nice. Hotstar. Aha. Look at again and all that. Now look at me now. How many of you have got ChatGPT Plus account? Lovable Pro account? Cursor Pro account? Claude Pro account? This is the problem.
All the young people actually have almost everything.
Not young people, they are different genre.
Oh, no?
Process here.
Okay.
So I'm talking about the actual people who work on these code. You understand the difference? They're spending almost the same amount on all the entertainment. But they're not willing to spend the same amount for at least one good tool that can help you do things done much better. Wow. Anything else, Manish? Before we open the platform?
Yeah, welcome to the new AI era. That's it.
Actually, this is a very recent input that Anthropic CEO was talking about. People who come out of college are not going to find jobs anymore. You kids.
No, they are very smart.
No, I'll tell you the background story, but this is not generalization, but there's a background story to it. People with 4 or 5 years of experience will be in high demand. Again, people with 20 years of experience, they may or may not based on how much they adopt with the AI. Now, why do I say this? Or why does he say this? He says, if I get a fresher into the system, what does a fresher do? He can write good Python code. But does he understand what can fail in the real production environment and etc. without real practice and an experience? No. So who will explain them to all of these aspects? There's a senior, there's a lead. Now this lead has to give them instructions, feedback, go into a process. Now this lead doesn't want to interact with humans anymore. Now this will be the intern or the entry-level employee will be these tools, who will have much more context and much more retention capability of what you say. And the advantage of the middle-aged people or the middle segment people is they know what can fail, how it can fail, and how to actually build things. Someone asked them, can you build backend? So if it is building wrong, he knows how to build it because they've already done it multiple times. They can foresee what issues can come. They can foresee what are the test cases that you have to be prepared for. So whatever you build will be much more better than the fresher. The fresher's ability to really build something production ready is very less. An experienced employee's readiness will be too high. That's when the real value is for you. Don't think jobs are gone. You have your job. Only if you use it.
But like you, very good point. Entry people will struggle hard because you guys are jumping into outputs, right? When you're jumping into outputs, even if the gibberish gives you output, it is still, it's not the actual value work. So definitely there will be a very steep learning curve.
It's as simple as this. This crowd, I don't assume them generalize, but angry people can say, I want to build a BookMyShow. It will build it. Good. With the same prompt level, it will build it. Now, an experienced person like Manish, he would go to ChatGPT, create a structured PRD, ask it multiple times, define it, take the PRD, put it into Lovable, again fine-tune it. He'll also build the same. Where do you think the quality of the output is great? This exactly is the core aspect. Even they don't, the young people might not even know the terms that you use on a day-to-day basis. What to even ask AI? But will I be afraid of it? No. I can actually ask AI to give me the list of terms, what will be expected. So it's all about that. Please.
One other thing I think is struggle is debugging the code. The person who has 4 or 5 years of experience would have shown the natural process of having some errors and seeing and
That's exactly what experienced person is supposed to do now. Make it do the raw version of it, you debug it, you make it final version of it. Orchestration, Manish's way of saying this is orchestration. I am, let's say, Raja, who doesn't know how to play the instrument, but I can hear like Raja. So what do? I take each instrument player, make them play the right instruments and get the right orchestration done for me, the output. For the first time in the world, you don't need to know how to play instruments to become ARM. which is as easy as in programming world. Questions, please.
Yes, you can't scare people and leave it young. That answer also you have to give.
Absolutely. So Manish brought in a very interesting point, learning and unlearning. This is going to be the core aspect of everyone's life right now. Now I'll tell you what is the nuance in this. Today, if I learn something on, let's say, a YouTube channel on a new code that came, we say, okay, I figured it out. There's another lab code that came out, and the chatterbox that came out. I go, wow, I'll use it now. But if you continue to do it for 1 month and forget what's going in real world, you're lost again. In 1 week's time, there's something much better coming out. So why don't you create your own chatbot agent, which creates a news of what you are preferring or looking for? Every day at 9 a.m. it gives it to you in your inbox. That's the first step.
There's an RSS feed mobile application which I share. So you can put the topic and it gives you, it'll scrape it, it'll give you news every day.
That's number one. Number two, let's say I've gathered so much information, like Manish said, he's very interested in longevity. So I went and asked, so here's some insight for you. If I am using AI, which tool will I use for what use case? If I have to do really deep research, I use Gemini 2.5 because it is already so good with search capabilities, it will go and get the right answer. If I have to do the real thinking, like the reasoning based thinking, I'll use O3 model of ChatGPT. If I have to create documentation, I'll use Claude or even literature per se, anything else. If I want to write a code, I use Sonnet 4, Claude. So there is a different AI for everything where it is really good at because it has been fine-tuned for that use case. So you knowing what to use when, half problem solved.
So it's like OS, right? You can build your own tool stack. Like he has his own tool stack. I have my own favorite tool stack. But whenever there is a requirement or problem comes, I use my own tool stack to get things done. So build your own tool stack starting from today based on your work and start using it.
And the most important aspect, we all have to go back to our college days. We have to learn so much that we have never learned in our college. And this has to be so fast that you have to do it also. It's not just taking in to hear, listen and hear. You have to do it. And sir, this is where I actually recommend this to you. Why don't you do that Manish's version of demo day is your own? That's an actual way of really getting hands-on, getting knowledge sharing going on. Yesterday I had a similar meeting with my own team. So many people have got so many ideas, but they're not talking because it's all remote organization. When they don't talk and they want to do the same things, they have done their own independent research. This is where the organization is losing. When this insight comes together, that's when it all moves faster. And that's where these demo days will really help. Building things together faster, demo days. That's the new shift in culture for organizations. It doesn't matter which organization. Anything, Manish?
So I think even in the podcast, we said everybody should have their own website, right? I think I'll go one level next. After website, I want everybody to have your own AI twin. Okay. So for this, we use something called 11 Labs. So 11 Labs has something called agents. Okay. So you need to give 2 hours. 2 hours is actually too long if you want a professional clone. But if you're able to give 5 minutes, okay, this is the fun thing, right? You can actually, if somebody is calling you, you can just put your phone and you can start making the agent talk to that person. So so we have created that. So if you go to my website right now, you can see the same AI voice clone. So let me show you how it works.
Any questions in the meantime? Please.
Yeah. Firstly, it will recognize Manish organization. For adapting like good planning for enterprise and I want to know when it comes to like decision making, when is it that we can draw a line when AI can see the efficiencies in processes at the same time? When can we integrate more decision making into AI? When should the enterprise understand that this is the time that AI can make a decision?
I think this is still an era for HIT here, human in the loop. The humans are still in the loop, and it has to be that way still.
Who's making the decision?
For instance, like, let's say there's like ride-hailing apps, and then it has to smartly allocate like different people, right? And let's imagine like there's a energy grid availability. So how do you know from like more of like operations or efficiency purposes we're using for increasing the processes and all that, like using AI in that perspective. But conventional enterprise know that you can adapt like a more decision-making process in AI.
They already adopted like 5 years, like all the route optimization has been happening for very long now.
Yes, but like
No, he's talking about his business.
Actually, your business, okay.
So the best approach is human. So that final decision option should be given to you, and you still make the decision at the moment. If it is simple things like booking a BookMyShow ticket, then I'm okay with AI to make the decision as long as the ticket is in the center with more legroom and ensure that the theater is in the right place. So basic criteria is met, I'm okay with the decision done. But the bigger decision, still we go with the approach of human to do. So the options to us and we decide.
So we call it as AI first approach. So we mutually we've decided that let us not take any human decision.
But like contrary to what Jignesh has said, then we're still kind of grouping humans inside.
So first we want AI to make certain decisions. Then we will bring the human to say, okay, it has made 5 decisions. I think 2 are more, relevant to us or more favorable for us. Let us pick these 2. So let AI do the decision making. Let AI do everything. Like, then you can basically switch to your decision making.
What should message them then? Like, because even ChatGPT
So it's a choice that you have to make as your business important.
All depends on the problem. What problem are you solving, right? There are many areas where 90% accuracy is fantastic. When human does it, he can do only 50%. If I give you million parameters and give you 1 hour to figure out, as a human, there is no way you can do it in 1 hour. But if you use AI, even if it does 90-95% accuracy, it's still fantastic. So AI is all about probability, and the probability is only getting better, and better. So when you see the opportunities, you see the threats. Whenever you see the threats, you back off. Whenever you see the opportunities, you move forward. What I can tell you is AI is coming. AI is coming very, very fast. In a specific problem, in a specific industry, if there are 5 opportunities today, it is going to open 50 opportunities. Nobody is going to lose jobs because there will be many more opportunities. They're talking about 2%, 3% GDP growth for the countries, for the world, because of AI, which means the possibilities are, for example, cancer, there is no cure. I mean, no 100% cure. Because of the new AI, there are many ways cancer can be cured. Like that, right? There are many not so possibilities are going to become possibilities with AI, which means new way of opportunities are going to come to all of. It's very, very important that the reason I'm doing this session is to let you know that AI is not on paper. AI is here, AI is coming. Just to show that somebody takes 6 months, the work can be done in 1 hour and 2 hours. It's real, it's here. And I want to encourage all of you, please start working on it. So, as you rightly mentioned, so what as a group, we wanted to make group as a AI first. As much as possible, any function where you can make AI first and one in the loop. That's what we want to do. Because we have IT company and we have non-IT businesses as well. Every 2 weeks, we're going to come with one challenge. There are multiple benefits with it, right? One, within the group, we have identified many areas where AI can help to improve what we do. So we have listed down, and since to make all of you AI first, to learn how AI works, to start your AI journey, we want to host every 2 weeks one challenge. Maybe Jignesh can tell you guys how you form as a group, 4 or 5 people, what kind of people, and you have to go and free time. develop those solutions using AI, and we'll continue to do that. The whole idea is you learn how to make it AI first. Otherwise, morning you come, evening you go, you'll be busy with your work, you will not be able to adopt. So this is for you to become AI first in everything what you do. We have identified first use case. You want to just talk about it?
Hello, everyone. So most of the use cases that we will be using as a part of this process that we do we pick up once in every 2 weeks is something that we will be using it within our group. So one of the first ones that we identified is the steel price predictor. So if you have, there is a metal index, just like you have your stock exchange, there is a metal exchange. So the prices of steel go up and down every day based on certain conditions, whether it's the weather, whether it's the global, the way that the things are globally. So what happens now, or certain other there are certain indicators that get this price up and down. So what we are looking is how can you create a predictor that will predict the price of the steel for the next 60 days. That's the challenge. So
Actually, I'll just add a few things to that. So let's build in this organization now. Let's make these buildathons every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, you'll get a problem statement. You'll form teams. You'll try to solve it. At the end of the week, end of the second week, you'll have a demo day. 3 minutes per team, 1 minute pitch, 2 minutes live demo. That's all. The idea is to really learn, implement, execute. The goal is also not to spend more than 5 to 6 hours in the entire process for a problem statement per team. So in that less time, how can you do this? And at the end, definitely, I don't know what kind of award system you have planned, but it should be so strong that everyone should want to do it. So the top teams every 2 weeks will get a strong, I don't know, you ask for whatever you want, iPhone or AirPod, you name it. But change that in the organization. The culture at DNA level has to be changed. So for you to just give you some inspiration, I am a founder of a company. Last weekend, I sat with 4 members of my own team and I did it myself. And I'm going to show you a live demo, end-to-end, front-end, back-end, AI integration, LLM integration, API integrations, everything included. End-to-end live demo, we're going to show it to you right now. Now, if I can do it, and by the way, I did this entire thing in 1 hour. 1 exact hour. So if we can do it in 1 hour, all of you can also do it. So I'll show you what we did. So this is the problem statement. I want to find the best developer for a particular thing that I want to hire for. Generally, I go to LinkedIn Recruiter, etc., or GitHub profiles. I'm more believer in GitHub than LinkedIn. But GitHub is so much that humanly, it is very tough to go out and figure it out. So we said, why don't I create a system which will go into GitHub, find the right profile, create an AI scoring, create an AI summarization, and automatically send an email to them if I like the candidate. Everything automated. HR, listen to me. So now, what is this all about? Let's name something. Let's find for Python and AI developers. AI, maybe India. So right now, GitHub is integrated, LinkedIn is not yet. Let it do the magic for you. So while we're speaking, the way it works is, I asked GPT on how can I actually do this. So it said, GitHub has an open endpoint API. It's a free API where you can go and search. So I got an insight there. Then I asked, what can be the way to figure out my natural language into a search query? Right now it's a simple query, but what if I want to say Python developer with AI background with high contributions in open source projects and who worked with a startup in the last 6 years? This is the kind of query I want to create. So this is very human language, but you have to convert this human language into a probable search query. And the search query has to be done well by an LLM because the language translation has to be done by an LLM. And once the query is ready, it goes on, searches and brings the data. Now look at the data, what we found here. Looks like Abhishek Veeramalla seems to be good here with 100% relevance. Now look at what it did for me. It created a risk profile. Are there any risks for this candidate? Let's see if there are any candidates with a risk. Looks like none of this first set has any risk. So it also created the languages, everything else. It created a one-line summary, the experience, education, repos, contributions, the entire GitHub profile link. I can go to the GitHub right away from here. Now I like this candidate. Let's say, for example, COVID Goel, I like him. I want to send an email to this guy. I click on Outreach AI. Now it again goes back to LLM. LLM with the context of the candidate, my job role, my organization background, it created an email template right there. And this email template, I don't like it. So look at it, what it did. I hope this whatever. It was very impressive about your work on Caliber and Kitty with 49,000 stars. So very, very relevant to what the profile already has. Now I don't like it. I want to regenerate it. Another version gets ready. Now I make an integration with Recent AI or SendGrid AI and SendGrid and etc. And it automatically triggers the email from my system. I can create HubSpot style sequences. Okay, first day, in 3 days, write an email again with a follow. In 2 days, write a LinkedIn message. And automate the entire process. Actually, I built that too, that did not work. So we did this again. Entire thing that you're seeing here, 1 hour. Front end, back end, integrations, LLMs, keys, everything. Now there is one more, which is a little deeper. This took some time. This we took 30 hours or 40 hours over the weekend. The first project we tried to do is this. The problem is we are product people. We want to do everything right away. And that failed. I'll tell you why it failed. So we went on to build so many features in it. Candidate version, HR version, assessments, jobs, applications, whatnot. So deeply we went in, it failed. It couldn't create this right backend system. I could have debugged it if I'm a coder, but I'm not a coder. And over the weekend, I don't have time to bring my backend people. So it did not work. So this is where really the backend teams come into picture. So let me show you just what it is actually capable of. It created a startup admin, like a tool. It created a customer login. It created a HR login. It created a candidate login. Now let me log into the startup admin. By the way, this is auth working like. I interestingly learned this feature. When testing, we have to remember all the passwords, right? What if we embed them into the landing page itself like this? It's so easy that you can always test it at any point. Very interesting insight AI did it for me. So this is my startup admin panel. So if I am a company who is building this, I need to control which organization to onboard, what is the revenue, what is happening inside. Look at the details. The revenue trends, the AI predictions of the entire org, audit logs, billing centers, system health, whatnot. Please.
I think I'm Tanmay. I look at the other non-IT sector businesses that we will participate in. While looking at some of these prompts, so how detailed do they have to be? Do you have to specify that some of these are headers, some of these are options, and they can deep dive into or their statistics? Like, how do you sort of get that level of granularity? So if I look at this as a layman, I wouldn't be able to distinguish it was made by AI or a human. So how do I get to that?
So the best way, this is something that I learned from Manish actually. Where is Manish? So this is something I learned from Manish a month ago. So I was prompting, build this for me, build that for me, until I met Manish. But then Manish showed me something interesting. Because he has been running a service company with so many apps built in the past, he knows the SDLC workflow of how a business thinks. So what is the first thing that we do when we go to a business to create something? The business analyst goes to someone with the SME and then talks, gets everything structured into a document called PRD, product requirement document. So he said, we should always start the same way humans do it. So let ChatGPT create a PRD for you in a very detailed 10-page document. That's when we will actually know what to give to the AI to create the entire thing for us. And from there, everything changed for me. So you try that approach, it will work. And from there on, specific areas, okay, I like everything, this UI, revamp it. In 2 minutes, I revamp the entire UI for me. Of course, it doesn't work always if it is backend integrated. So there's a lot of pain in the backend integration, but it works. you saw in live. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Any last set of questions for me, Manish, Sridhar, please?
It's and kind of open PRD, right? So where you build from scratch. But I would be like defining this I need, right? So maybe I'm wrong in the prompt thinking about
Which tool are you using? Which tool are you using?
So I'm using a combination of ChatGPT and Claude for PRD refinement. And then I push it to Lago, right? I try to do it as well, right? And I use another two different tools, right?
So tell me, if I were you, how will you?
I have already existing system and I want to kind of redesign, right? So I know what I will for you. So I just gave it a screenshot of that. I wanted that to take a reference and then read it. Then the refinement becomes a problem. Then give some random things and a better refinement function.
So I'll take some live examples with Manish's help here, and we'll give you try to answer a few of them.
Yeah, the answer is very simple. You just go to the code, copy the page's code, go to ChatGPT, refine it, paste it, it will work.
I'll come back to you.
So these are something that failed for me and worked for me the last Buildathon I did for 3 days.
So I'm going for the last 2 weeks, right?
I'm talking about last weekend. Last weekend, what happened? So last weekend, what happened was, when we gave a PRD and took it to the ChatGPT with a very extensive, exhaustive requirement, it built a basic UI, but it could not build anything in the backend strong. The biggest realization here is always start small. Build one solid feature. Get it built. Then extend it, because the backend structure, that's how we build it like humans, right? We don't, if you ask you to build everything in one go, the context layer misses it, especially as the context grows bigger and bigger. So that's why we failed. But then the learning, make it small first, layer by layer add it. Every once in a while, give it the whole context once again. So it regenerates that. But the other way to do it, we were already discussing it, is to create a RAG separately on the other side with all our insights. And ask it to always check to the RAG and come back to us when it gives us the final. So the vectors in the RAG will help you understand, help the model understand what is your expectation every time, without creating a long context with you. Ideally, the context is too small, like 100,000. If you're using cursor, maybe it will give you large indexing, but still there's a problem there. So my team today, the way they do it is, they use cursor with Claude Sonnet 4 for internal repurposing, refactoring, etc. But from a fresh model building, fresh theme building, we use Lovable and a combination. So it's a mix and match. Jules is not actually not good yet, but it is free for us in the org, like Copilot is free for you. So always you have to find a way to do free versions, paid versions. Now we are debating, yesterday our discussion was all about, can we use a large GPU and create a 7 billion model or 10 billion model already existing in the market, like Mistral or something, deploy it, give it the all context in that format or create a fine-tuned version of it, and ask it to always continuously keep on refactoring our code, give us suggestions. Let it run it for 5 days or 10 days. If I use it with Claude or something, it will charge me $10,000. But this is free. With one server, you can do it. So there are still experiments. We haven't done it everything yet. But we started better than you. So that's it. We are in a position to tell you now.
Actually, these people solved this. It's called taskmaster.ai. So what it does is it basically creates its own PRD inside Cursor and starts breaking down tasks. So if you see all the statuses, dependencies, so like what a product manager does, it basically does everything step by step, and then it starts planning. So think of it building like a large application with just one PRD. So this is something that's now getting integrated directly with all the cursors, Windsurf, everybody,
Bunch of interesting things. All these things are available on GitHub, by the way. We have to keep searching what's new coming on the GitHub.
Actually, a lot of videos, like everybody's posting videos, right? So if you watch those videos, you'll keep getting these.
Or follow someone like us, so you'll get it caught. Yeah. Any last questions? Actually, we had very small. Please.
It's a business question. So what about the legacy product companies, right? So you're able to build, for example, as plus 1.7, you can able to build it in a weekend. So whatever the companies that are existing currently,
Believe me, this is age-old question, but the same answer. The answer is anyone can build a product. A good engineer can build anything. But extremely to get the business out of it is a real challenge. So don't ever imagine that, if I am someone who can build something like this overnight, you will have a business. That's the place where still humans are there. So making it work is the bigger picture. Product building is nothing now. So now who are at advantage? People who have ideas but still could not get that skill of writing a code, they are at advantage now. Actually, I was watching a podcast by Simon Sinek. There's a very interesting context analogy he brought in. She said this, in 1970s and 80s, when robots came in, all the factory workers lost their jobs. And people said, you have to upskill, man, otherwise you are nothing much. Today, the knowledge workers, especially programmers and knowledge workers, are at that stage, and all those general people are still okay. Plumbers, electricians, they're all super good. They have no problem even to worry about this. So he was telling this, if you are really worried, go and do a plumbing job. It has enough money now with job security guarantee. Or adopt. Upskill and fix it.
Thank you, Manish. Thank you, Jignesh. Great session. Basically, we wanted everybody to see the taste of AI, power of AI. All of you showed up here, spent 1.5 hours. This is a very good start. And I know these guys scared you enough that you will not have jobs, many will not have jobs. Good news is I start my day morning with AI, end with AI. And we are not AI consumers where we implement AI, try to cut people. We are the AI creators and AI consumers. We are building AI products. We are setting up AI research centers in Vizag. So you are with the right company. We wanted to do lots of innovation in AI and create impact. So my request is all of you, please start studying, start experimenting. So the problem statement, she might have just shared minutes, but what we're going to do is every 2 weeks, we're going to give you very detailed problem statement. And then you're going to have a couple of mentors who knows how to do things, right? And you have your own team, 4 or 5 people team. Then you'll have mentors who's going to help, to understand the problem and what kind of tools to be used. Even if you are not successful, there is no winner and failure. I want all of you guys to get understanding of how the power of AI. So just explore it and, just participate. That will be a great, first step. Thank you.
Awesome.
So we will be sharing a detailed document of the problem statement, the steel price predictor. We will be sharing that with you to everybody. Mani, do you want to talk about the team setup and all that?
Oh, it's pretty simple. Let's keep it simple. 4-member team or 5-member team? You tell me. 4 or 5? Because anyway, last 2-3 people will never work. You know that, right? That's how I was in my project.
Always pod is three people.
Okay. That's it. Let's give 4.
Okay.
First 1 month, 4 people teams. Any random teams, but try to ensure one non-technical person is in your team. It could be HR, accounts, functions. Anyone who is non-programmer has to be there in the team. So they will also learn from you the way you are learning, you are doing things. So that's the team structure. Now, in terms of problem statement, Monday morning you will have problem statement, and the second week Friday is a demo day. Right here, you're going to give the demo. On the very same day, you will have the announcements, probably price distributions also. Maybe you can have an open document with what kind of prices you want, make a list, and solve the problem better than others, take the price. Next 3 months, company wants to spend money, but they want to see action. You want a tool? Ask. You want an API? Ask. You want something to be paid for? Ask. But all that they're asking for is output. Output while you are having fun, learning new tools. And if you can do all of this openly, nothing like it. So there is something called, there's a new concept called open building. What is it? In this world, someone has to recognize you, that you are really the AI person. How do they do that? Via your LinkedIn or YouTube or Instagram or your GitHub. So whatever you build, when something interesting is found, create a snapshot, create a voice recording or anything, put it out there. Like a thread, X thread. So if you can do this, this is bonus, it is not compulsory. Anything non-IP related, build it openly. That's how your profile will get a lot more weight.
You can also add, they can have something called like a launch pad. So if the tool is good enough, you can have something like a launch pad. So launch pad is where the other people are coming and using your tool. So you can actually collect real user feedback, and maybe it can take some shape and maturity as well. So maybe you can introduce the launch pad for all the ideas. Let the launch pad also have all the upcoming projects, current status, all of that also can be presented there.
That's actually a good idea. Deploy it into GitHub, collect all the code to one UI, where everyone can go and experiment other features, how it is working. That'll be actually a good thing that you can do for yourself. Forget about company for some time. It is not about paradigm anymore. It is about you as individuals. If you don't get, and the company is paying you to do this innovation for your own self-learning. On company's time, with company's tools, with company's problem statements. Use it, learn, build your profile, then you figure out what you want to do. But build it, create with action and momentum in this order. And as external mentors, we will be there, we can bring more people, and we'll also learn with you. Anything, Manish?
That's it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
2 photos.
Group photo? Just stand where you are.
Indigo, like let everybody come.
Okay, come a little closer. Shall we take a selfie? All the young people come in the front, please.
Actually, we can have some there. We can signal.
Please.
Yeah.